Welcome back to 5 Minutes With, the series where we spend 5 minutes or so speaking with a motorsport star. And today on the show we have
Callum Voisin racing in FIA Formula 3 with Rodin Motorsport.
Thanks for joining us, Callum, especially as it was a very eventful home race for you last weekend at Silverstone. So with that in mind, I wanted to ask, you went into the Silverstone weekend without any top 10 finishes to your name in Formula 3, but you left having scored your first F3 podium and an impressive P4. Do you feel that racing round a circuit you're more experienced that allowed you to extract more pace from the car, or are you more used to the car now than earlier in the season?
I think it's a mix of both. I think, definitely being to Silverstone many times does help for sure. But, at the same time, we've had, a lot of pace for quite some time now. I'd say these results have been a long time coming. Certainly in the top 10 finishes, maybe not so much the podium, but definitely the top 10 finishes have been a long time coming. I'd say, ever since Imola, we've had very strong pace on and off, to be fair, but, we have had this pace since Imola. So, but for sure, especially with the tricky conditions, mixed conditions, I think the fact that I've driven this track in all sorts of weather has, definitely helped, especially in Sunday's feature race. It did, allow me to probably extract more from the car than, I guess, other people probably. But, at the same time, it was on pace. And as I said, we've had this pace for quite some time now.
And can you explain to people just how difficult it was around Silverstone to race this weekend? Because for those that don't know, I think the majority of the drivers, if I'm remembering correctly, started on the intermediate tyres for the feature race, but you were on the dry tyres on a wet track. And I know from my very limited experience, playing games like F1 24, that was rather difficult, but you did it in real life. So just, can you explain to our viewers and listeners how hard of a task that was?
Yeah, to be honest, this is going to sound not so, I guess, interesting, but from my side, I was extremely surprised how many people went to wets, because for me, it was fairly obvious how dry the track was. So it was never really a thought in my mind that I wanted to go to wets. The only thing that was at the time, there was more rain coming in 10 minutes or so. But, we already done 2 green flag laps or 2 sighting laps, whatever you want to call it, to the grid on slicks. Everybody did that. So we already had high temp in the tires. So for me, I was very surprised. And I think, it showed on the first few laps, we were extremely quick. So as I said, I basically did what people do in video games in real life. But it was definitely a gamble, especially that nobody else was on it. So I definitely thought, I was aware that I was the odd one out, especially I was, starting in a pretty decent position as well. So, but, at the end of the day, it was the right call. So,
it was the right call and definitely paid off for you. Just looking back, you're only 18 years old now. You've only been racing F3 for this season, but I just want to touch on your junior career before that. I noticed that you previously raced in Ginetta Junior Championship, which I believe is a car racing championship rather than an open wheel championship. And it's a bit of a more unusual route to get to single seaters. But do you feel that having that experience in a non-open wheel series has helped you in GB3 after that and now F3 as well?
Yeah, for sure. Ginetta Juniors is a renowned championship, growing drivers of all sorts of, disciplines. I think there's so many drivers in the UK that come from Ginetta Juniors, even ones from single seaters. For me, it was, a fairly natural step to go into anyway, especially my brother had already raced in the championship the previous 2 seasons, I believe. Yeah. So for me, it was a fairly, easy way in. I knew the team, they knew me. It wasn't really, I kind of shoehorned in pretty perfectly. So for me, it was a very, I guess, easy step to make. But, anybody who hasn't watched Ginetta Juniors, you should definitely give it a big go, because the racing is still some of the best I've ever seen. And, it does teach you a whole lot of things about controlling a car. So, for me, it was definitely the right way to go, because at the time, I still didn't know whether I wanted to do GT or single seaters. My brother went to GTs, and then conversely, I went to single seaters. So I still wasn't 100% sure at the time. So definitely doing Ginetta Juniors keeps kind of both, I guess, options open, if that's the way of saying it. Yeah,
that's definitely the way to say it. Yeah, definitely keep your options open with stuff like that. And thank you for joining us on the show, Callum. Really do appreciate it. And good luck for the rest of the F3 season.
Thank you very much.
Who do you want to see on the show next? Let us know in the comments below. And be sure to follow us on the F1 Chronicles video channels. See you for the next one, guys.